What's going on, everybody? Mike here with iSMELL, and yes, we are back at it with another video. I'm extremely stoked about today's video, and that is quite simply because I love a great amber forward fragrance. What I have for y'all are 10 super stellar, awesome smelling amber forward fragrances. Every one of these, again, smell amazing, and they will undoubtedly level up your collection. But I'm not here to waste anybody's time, seeing as we have quite a bit to get through in today's video. Let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, no fluff, no honorable mentions, right into the nitty gritty as always. There is a logic behind why I chose this first one and put it in this particular spot. And that is because I think for those of y'all looking to go deeper down that amber rabbit hole, this one here will be an excellent reference point. This one comes from the niche house of Serge Lutens. The name of this one is Ombre Sultan. All right, so Serge Lutens' Ombre Sultan is considered by many to be a masterclass in perfumery. I'm inclined to agree, although there is a bit of a caveat, a bit of a catch-22. This one smells like an ode to the old world. So for those of y'all that gravitate towards the more modernized scent profiles, this one might not be your cup of tea. For those of y'all that might find it a bit challenging, others might find it to be interesting. And that's exactly what I find this one to be. The notes in Ombre Sultan will include bay leaf, oregano, resins, myrrh, benzoin, as well as vanilla. You're gonna see a reoccurring theme here. I'm not gonna make it a TED Talk, but amber is a fantasy accord. It's usually comprised of several different components, most notably vanillin, coumarin, cistus labdanum, as well as benzoin. So those are gonna be notes that you hear throughout the course of this video. I failed to grab scent strips, but I'll still throw a couple in the air for y'all. Yeah, it's amazing. I think it smells great, y'all. So when this fragrance opens up, some again might find it a bit challenging. The bay leaf and oregano are very prominent. It's very herbal, smells like old money. It also kind of smells like a spice rack, like in the kitchen, a spice rack in the kitchen. Very interesting right when it opens up. It's warm, rich, resinous. Again, smells like old money, a little bit syrupy, and the ambers start to glue to the skin. Beautiful fragrance. Again, ambers aren't necessarily always the most complex scent profiles. Ombre Sultan is going to last you about 5 to 6 hours. I got my bottle for less than $100. And again, I have hundreds of fragrances in my collection, and I do have a little bit of a dent, so that goes a long way to say because I purchased this one this year before it even got cold. Great fragrance as long as you can, withstand the herbal notes that are very much present in this fragrance, but it is considered to be one of the best ambers ever created, and it does deserve, at the very least, for you to get your nose on. At the number one spot today, again, from Serge Lutens, we have Ombre Sultan. All right, so whereas the last one was a masterclass, an ode to the old world of perfumery, this one here is a masterclass as it relates to a modernized amber. It is, by all accounts, the archetype for what somebody would think of when they think of an amber forward fragrance. It's one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection, coming from Mason Francis Kurkdjian. Y'all already know which direction I'm going. This one is Grand Soir. All right, so it took some time for me to fully appreciate what this fragrance was doing. When I first went to Neiman, by all accounts, I thought it was kind of a basic scent profile that didn't warrant the price tag that it fetched. It wasn't until I actually wore it on me a couple times that I began to fully appreciate what this fragrance was doing, because it's not the most complex scent profile. What you smell in the beginning is going to be pretty close to what you smell in the dry down. The notes in Grand Soir will include cinnamon tree, vanilla, labdanum, that's cistus labdanum, lavender, tonka bean, as well as benzoin. Yeah, so again, this one has become one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. If my fragrance collection was going to slim down to maybe 20, nothing more, Grand Soir would 100% still be on my shelf. You're gonna get dry spices when this one opens up. That's coming from that cinnamon bark, so like dry and woody. This fragrance is fluffy and still sticky at the same time because again, you're getting that aromatic lavender, that smooth vanilla, that rich benzoin, and sweet tonka bean. So it's all those things put together. None of the notes are competing with one another. Perfectly unisex, about 5 to 6 hours. if you are open to paying $200-300 for a fragrance, this is one that you should definitely check out. Go to Neiman, at least get your nose on it, y'all. This is the archetype for what a modernized amber forward fragrance should smell like. Again, from Macy's Francis Kurkdjian at the number 2 spot today, we have Grand Soir. So even before I started collecting more seriously, it turns out I had a proclivity towards amber forward fragrances. And I say that because this next one here, I picked up even before I got serious into the hobby. I smelled everything Macy's had at that time. This one was, by all accounts, the most interesting to me, and it's safe to say because of that, I think this one is a statement maker. We are going to be diving into the house of Prada with this next one. It is effectively Prada's first men's fragrance. This one is Prada Amber Pour Homme. All right, so you see that beautiful purple juice. If anybody is interested in checking this one out, because it has been reformulated, this is an instance where I would say enough feedback has been put out into the ether that I think it would warrant buying an older version, because newer batches, they don't have purple juice. They in fact have like a gray juice, and I just think the purple looks better by all accounts on your shelf as well. Notable notes in Prada Amber Pour Homme will include white florals, bergamot, lavender, saffron, labdanum, see that trend, as well as myrrh. I'll spray this one up in the air as well. Beautiful bottle. Excellent. So this one kind of started that trend for Prada for clean, powdery compositions. This one smells like a luxury bar of soap. Very clean. One of the cleanest fragrances in my collection. It's a super interesting fragrance that has stood the test of time. I don't have anything in my collection that smells quite like Prada Amber Pour Homme. This one here is a modern fougere. So think the old school barber shop type of scent profile. It doesn't smell like shaving cream, but smells like a modernized barber shop fragrance. You're gonna get clean white florals up top, smooth aromatic lavender, which is the pillar of a barbershop fougere type fragrance. Saffron gives it some leathery facets, and then you're gonna get labdanum, which works in conjunction with that saffron to create that leather note, and then just rich, warm, ambery, sticky myrrh. It's a beautiful fragrance, y'all. Again, I think it's an absolute staple in my collection. It's a statement maker. You have Prada Amber Pour Homme and you have Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense, which goes even further in that Old Spice barbershop style. But I personally prefer this one because it does smell a bit cleaner, like that luxury bar of soap. Definitely one worth adding into your collection at the number 3 spot today. Great amber forward fragrance. This one is Prada Amber Pour Homme. All right, so while I certainly appreciate the artsy fartsy complex stuff, what I've learned as I went down this amber fragrance rabbit hole, it's that I like fragrances that are actually wearable. And sometimes you don't need something extremely complex. Sometimes what you want is simplicity, especially if the notes are perfectly blended and everything smells harmonious. That's the direction we're going with this next one. Fragrance number 4 comes from Hermes. I'm about to say this like a dumb Texas hick. The name of this one is Ambre de Merveille. Basically translates to the Amber of Wonders. And no, I don't speak French. I just had to look it up. So the notes in the Amber of Wonders is going to be mandarin orange, vanilla, cistus labdanum, patchouli, as well as woody notes, likely coming by way of cedar. Now, I would tell you now, this fragrance, in terms of how the structure is, it smells like it should be in complete opposition of one another. The notes smell like they should not be in the same composition, but that's kind of what piqued my interest about the fragrance itself, y'all. You're getting salty citrus. Very salty citrus. It gives the effect of ambergris, and then you're gonna get rich, warm, slightly airy, but still a little bit sticky amber notes. And again, we're talking about labdanum and vanilla, and the patchouli gives it just a little bit of that stank, but not overly hippie. It's a beautiful fragrance, y'all. Very interesting. That's what I noticed about Hermes. is the fragrances that they put out, they're putting staple pieces out. They're not just pushing slop out there on the market where everything that they release to the public smells like it was created from a 3D printer. This is not fake Campbell's meat here. This is great perfumery, something that you should check out. Bottles aren't that expensive. You can go to Neiman and pay, $150, or you can go on Macari and pay $65, and that's what I did at $65. This is an absolute staple maker. Again, similar to Prada, it doesn't smell like anything else in my collection, and for that reason, it deserved to be on this list. At the number 4 spot, again, from Hermes, we have Ombre de Merveille. All right, so at the number 5 spot, we're gonna be talking about a fragrance that quite literally sparked my interest to even want to go down this amber fragrance rabbit hole. I think this fragrance is an absolute masterpiece. It remains to be one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. Unfortunately, it's discontinued. You might have to pay a pretty penny for it. This one comes from Issey Miyake. This one is L'Eau de Issey Noir Ombre. And thankfully, I have a big boy bottle. This should last me for many, many years to come. I'm not the type of person to hoard bottles. I don't necessarily need a backup. This one here, if you can't find this one, Virtus Vanilla Oud will get you in a very similar ballpark, y'all, just so y'all are aware. Notable notes in Noir Ombre will include saffron, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, tonka bean, and leather. So this one is a dark amber. It's the darkest amber so far on this list. I have a couple more I think that are pretty dark, but this one is a very dark amber. Definitely cold weather approved, y'all. I've had this one now for about a year. It cuts through the cold beautifully. Nice, sweet, designery smelling tonka bean up top, mixed with that leather and saffron and cinnamon and nutmeg. Think dry spice and everything nice. This fragrance is an absolute stellar performer, cuts through the cold weather, smells amazing, doesn't smell like anything else in my collection. It's a little bit animalic, so for those of y'all that want a bit of a challenge, this is a designer fragrance that is niche level. Beautiful fragrance, one of my favorites in my entire collection. The hype is absolutely real. I think you can still find one around 180, but 200, I think it still warrants it. Definitely test drive before you buy. This one isn't going to be for everybody. Like I said, it is a bit animalic, very strong emphasis on dry spice, leather, sticky, resinous, amber. The tonka bean is strong in this one, and vanilla smooths it out just enough to where it's not too challenging. Definitely one worth checking out, in my opinion. One of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. I cannot say enough positive things about Noir Ombre. Again, at that number 5 spot, again from Issey Miyake, we have Noir Ombre. All right, so when considering fragrance number 6, you might not think of it as an amber forward fragrance. In my opinion, I think you would be wrong. Maybe only because it has 1,000 notes that people don't kind of associate it as an amber fragrance. Nonetheless, this is one that I've wanted in my collection for quite some time, so I'm glad I can finally showcase it on this channel. This one is from Homage. The name of it is Jubilation 25 Man. All right, so the dent or lack thereof is quite literally because my wife purchased it for me on my birthday. My birthday's in May. It's hot in May. It's hot in Texas in general, so I haven't had that many opportunities to pull this one off the shelf and wear it. Nonetheless, it smells great, absolutely regal, smells like money. It's a man's man fragrance, not a panty dropper, y'all. Just get that very much out in the open. This one's not gonna draw you a shit ton of compliments. At least it hasn't for me. Notable notes in Jubilation 25 Man is going to include labdanum, frankincense, honey, opanox, myrrh, as well as ambergris. That was just the amber forward notes. There's also clove, mandarin, and a very strong emphasis on blackberry. This is a very, complex scent profile. Kind of challenging, does not smell like a designer fragrance, so it may throw you off when you first smell it. It has many different components. They don't feel like they're competing with one another. It's sweet, it's smoky, it's resinous, it's sticky, it's fruity because of the blackberry note, it's herbal because of the clove. So it's doing a lot of different things. So definitely test drive before you buy it because this is an expensive fragrance, and I will admit it does not have the best performance. Let me reiterate that. Does not have the best performance. I'll have to respray several times throughout the day to get the full wearing experience, in my opinion. So definitely go to Neiman and check this one out before you just blindly pull the trigger. Nonetheless, amber forward is what we're talking about, and this is one of the best ambers in my collection, bar none. Definitely one worth checking out. At the number 6 spot from Homage, we have Jubilation 25 Man. All right, so anybody that has been subscribed to my channel for any fair amount of time, y'all are already well aware. I have already said on multiple occasions that you do not need to break the bank to smell great. That will make more sense here in just a second. Fragrance number 7 comes from Chopard. The name of this one is Amber Malaki. And if the orientation looks different from the last fragrance to now, it's because I had a little bit of a technical hiccup, but the show must go on, especially because I haven't recorded anything in some time, y'all. We'll work out the kinks downstream. But big shout out to Robes08. He's the one that put me onto this fragrance. This one here bears a strong enough similarity to Clive Christian's Blonde Amber, so you don't have to spend $500 to smell great. If anything, I like the way this one opens up more. This one, in terms of the notes, is going to include orange blossom, bourbon vanilla, incense, labdanum, as well as papyrus. I'll throw a couple in the air for you on this one as well. Yeah, so it's not citrus, y'all. It's florals, orange blossom. So clean, white florals with some tonalities that give you the impression of orange, but it's not an inherently citrusy fragrance, y'all. Underneath that, right underneath that, is some smoky incense, very clean incense, not dirty incense. And then you're gonna get a lot of vanilla, labdanum, and some dry papyrus, y'all. Just some green tonalities as well. Beautiful fragrance, like I said, excellent. Right up there with Clive Christian's Blonde Amber, in my opinion. It's close enough to that itch is scratched. I don't need to spend $500, nor should you. Definitely worth checking this one out. It's a sleeper, in my opinion, a gem in my collection. It's an addictive fragrance too. It's a fragrance that I wish the opening lasted a bit longer, and I do find myself respraying. Nonetheless, one that will level up your collection, in my honest opinion, assuming you like amber forward fragrances. At the number 7 spot from Chopard, we have Amber Malaki. All right, so moving on to fragrance number 8, we are going to be literally talking about one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. It does rank as one of my favorite tobacco fragrances as well. We will be exploring the world of Zaharoff with this next one. This one goes by the name of Signature Tobacco. Now, some fragrances feel like they are specifically tailor-made and composed for you. That's what this one does for me. And as you saw, I have the big boy bottle. This one will last for many, many years to come, y'all. Now, some of y'all might not think of this as an amber forward fragrance. I am inclined to disagree. Let me break down the notes real quick. Notable notes in Signature Tobacco will include boozy notes of rum and cognac, honey, tobacco, vanilla, myrrh, and incense. There is also plum as well as tonka bean, which further enhance the richness of this composition. Having stated that, it's not overly sticky. In terms of what this one smells like, y'all, grown and sexy, adult smelling man who's established and knows who he is. Does not smell like anything you'll ever find at Macy's or Dillard's. In my entire life, I have not smelled a fragrance that smells quite like this, and that's why I absolutely love it, y'all. This one here, you get the boozy, rich up top. You're gonna get the honey dipped cigar smell in the heart of the fragrance, and then similar to most of George fragrance, you're gonna have that rich, sticky, smoky incense, myrrh, that just like binds everything together. It's a beautiful fragrance, y'all. I don't know a better way to describe this fragrance to y'all other than to get your nose on it and check it out. I think it's an amber forward fragrance. If you disagree, by all means, chime off, sound off in the chat. Let me know I'm full of shit, but I think I'm pretty much spot on this one. Nonetheless, it is one of my favorite amber forward fragrances in my entire collection. At the number 8 spot again from Zaharoff, we have Signature Tobacco. All right, so big shout out to Mike with Fragrance Fraternity on this next one. He's the one that put me onto this fragrance, and I'm extremely glad he did. It's a super interesting fragrance. Well, some of y'all might say it's challenging because of one specific note. I'm inclined to disagree. I think it's an extremely interesting fragrance. This one comes from Tango. The name of this one is Mosque Milano. think it has an excellent presentation as well. The notable notes in Mosque Milano will include cardamom, cumin, very much emphasis on the cumin, benzoin, tonka bean, florals of rose and jasmine, as well as gaiac wood. Now, this one does kind of have some similarities to Ombre Sultan, y'all. Great atomizer. Yes, it's cumin right up at the top, y'all. So it's gonna be challenging. Cumin can kind of have a BO smell to some people. I don't personally think it. I think it, for me, it's like a sweet, dry spice. But definitely it's there. So this one is probably the least safe blind buy that you can get, and it is niche, so you're gonna spend close to $200 for this fragrance. But if you can get past that cumin, y'all, there's that dry cardamom with the sticky benzoin. And again, I know I sound like a parrot at this point, but tonka bean, benzoin, and gaiac wood, that's what you're gonna get on this one. It's woody, sweet, herbal, a lot of cumin, and then that sweet benzoin base. Definitely a great fragrance. I will say I don't wear it as much as I should. When you have so many other fragrances, amber forward fragrances, I've honestly been gravitating towards some of the other ones, but this is one that deserves more attention. I have worn it. It's just not something I'm necessarily wearing around my wife, but I personally find this fragrance to be extremely interesting and one worth checking out if you're looking to level up your collection, because it's not going to smell like everything else on your shelf. Definitely one worth checking out. Again, big shout out to Mike with Fragrance Fraternity for putting me on to this one. Again, from Tango at the number 9 spot, we have Mosque Milano. All right, and last but not least, and if you are still watching, big salute. I really do appreciate it. If you made it this far, please do consider subscribing. This one might be, one of the most wearable amber forward fragrances that has ever been made, y'all. There's nothing about this fragrance that's off-putting. Everything smells extremely well put together. The only downside is that people say it doesn't last that long, but it is quite literally one of the best amber fragrances ever made, especially in the designer realm. This one comes from Dolce & Gabbana. Y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all. This one is the 1 EDP. The dent don't lie. Dent don't lie. All right, notable notes in the 1 EDP is going to be blood oranges, ginger, tobacco, sage, cardamom, and amber woods, likely coming in some form of vanilla and sandalwood. So this one has an amber woody base. Beautifully rich, welcoming right up at the top, and that is likely because of that rich blood orange mixed with that fizzy pop of ginger. It's just something about that combination of notes. It's extremely inviting, extremely pleasing to the nose. Nothing about it smells terrible, and it's interesting enough. It's interesting enough, y'all. So it's not groundbreaking. It is starting to show its age a little bit, but it's a beautifully made fragrance, y'all. Very masculine. I think it does not lean feminine in any stretch. It's a gentlemanly fragrance by all account. Then you're gonna get that, cardamom, that dry spice mixed with that sticky amber woody base. Beautiful fragrance. I personally think by all accounts, you're probably better to go this one versus the new Parfum. I think it's not the longest lasting. I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know if y'all think it lasts a long time, but I spray my clothes, I get about 6 hours tops. And at that, if you can get this fragrance for about $60, I think that's, a pretty safe bet. Definitely one worth checking out, in my opinion. Again, the dent doesn't lie, y'all. The dent does not lie. This is an iconic fragrance, and definitely one that should be on your shelf if you want to level up your amber forward fragrance collection. At the number 10 spot, last but certainly not least, from Dolce & Gabbana, we have the 1 EDP. All right, you guys, that's pretty... Oh, shit. All right, you guys, that's pretty much a wrap for me. Shake off the rust and provide y'all 10 awesome amber fragrances that will level up your collection. I certainly appreciate you checking out the video. More appreciative if you've watched until the end. For those of y'all that are still here, do me a favor, leave a comment below. Let me know which fragrance out of anything that I talked about that you want to check out, and I'll send you a free 5 milliliter decant. Just my way of saying I appreciate you checking out the full video. Listen, I know I don't always upload the most content, but one thing is for sure, every single time I upload, you are gonna get honest, authentic, and unbiased opinions. That will never change, y'all. I certainly do appreciate y'all checking out the video. Till next time, y'all take care, all right? Good luck on this giveaway. Later.